I'm tired of men who are not romantic for so many reasons. I remembered I had this ex, let's call him Patrick number one. No, he was not the best Patrick out of both of them, even though I'm sure we all could come to that conclusion ourselves. He was just the first Patrick I dated. The next guy I dated was also a Patrick, but we'll talk about that later. But I remember, like, when we were still a thing before he was going to go back to college, he was like, just so you know, I still want to see you. I care about you. I cherish you. I picture a family with you, blah, blah, blah. We could video call like every Thursday and I'll text you throughout the week. Guess what? He absolutely could not do that. He could not because he was too busy motorboating random women at frat parties. And when he wasn't doing that, he was studying. And when he wasn't doing that, even more frat parties. And then when he wasn't doing that, he was working out. Now, if you have a girl that you allegedly love and it's long distance, there's a lot of solutions you can do. You can go, I'm going to send her like a DoorDash order from that food place I know she loves so bad. I'm going to DoorDash her some fucking McDonald's or buffalo wings or a sweet dessert. I can send her some chocolates. I can fucking write her a letter and spray my cologne on it. He could have done a lot of things. He could have left me just a voicemail at like 3 a.m. to let me know he was thinking about me. He could have done anything at all. And he went straight to gaslighting and emotionally abusive behavior. And that is exactly why he got replaced with Patrick number two, and boy did he throw a fit about that. Also, I don't know, I'm just thinking about all the times in my life where like the solution was pretty damn simple, but the men in my life just weren't thoughtful enough. Like they would claim to love me, claim to want a future faking bullshit, love bombing bullshit. But really they were just terrible people. And so it's like for example, my birthday last year. I was recently depressed today cuz I was thinking, "Damn, I'm about to turn fucking how old in August?" And I'm super like what here I was thinking I was going to have a great winter or a great like summer last year, but neither thing happened. And why was that? Oh, right, because the men in my life wanted to cause me more fucking issues than good events in my life. And sadly, I let them, which is a testament to a lot about me, as you can see. But I'm vulnerable in the sense that I'm sharing it with you. Like, yes, it's like, okay, of course they were terrible fucking people, but I also should have given them the boot sooner. If I could rewind time, I would have poured my money and efforts into my hobbies and lifestyle and more, and not dealt with their bitch asses whatsoever. But what can I say? They put it down, they looked cute, and they wanted to do certain things for me, but sadly, even now, the stuff they did doesn't really fully make up for anything. Like for my birthday last year when I was dating that Morgan asshole. I remember, like, I didn't want jack shit. I could have asked for a lot of stuff, but I was like, you know what? I just really want to go for, like, a fancy place with you, baby. I want to check out a Brazilian steakhouse if that's okay. You can let me know if that doesn't work. And he was like, no, no, that's fine. I absolutely can do that. Of course, I love you. Guess what? Like, he had months to prepare for that. And all he had to do was just, like, it was $70 per person. All he'd need to do is have, like, 140. And he was like, I can absolutely do that. I make enough money. I absolutely can. Guess what? He couldn't do it. And you know why? It's because he spent $400 on some hats. You want to know how many hats he got? Two. So he blew $400 on two single hats and then told me that he couldn't do my birthday plans with me anymore. If I could rewind time, I'd be like, oh, it's okay. We just don't have to do my birthday at all. I would have blocked him and went out with some new nigga immediately. And then, like, within that time, I probably would have had a great birthday date at some fancy spot with some new nigga. But oh well, shit happens. I was pissed as fuck about this, but at the same, I don't know. I can't explain a lot of it. You get into a weird place when you're in a fucked up abusive relationship. And there was a lot of head games, and I just was like, I will give him room to just treat me right and give him the chance to make this up. He didn't. If anything, what's fucked up is all I wanted to do was for my birthday was $4 movie day. Very fucking simple. He managed to ruin that too, because he showed up with a fucking attitude, seething, huffing, just acting like a pot about to explode and boil over, and just had thrown a hissy fit. And then you know why he was throwing a hissy fit? Because he was secretly super nervous to ask where I wanted to go for dinner, and he would not stop stressing me out about that. And even with me telling him I don't care about dinner, I can pay for my own dinner. I don't really care. Just enjoy, like, lighten up, enjoy the day with me. I just want to have a good time with you. All you have to do is watch this movie with me and talk with me as if we're having fun. He couldn't even do that. And so I couldn't enjoy the fucking shitty, like, not to totally tell you all of the trauma, but to make it quick, let's just say the night ended with me giving myself a concussion out of stress and him still feeling entitled to sex by the end of it, since he spent like 20, $25 on nations at the end of it. And it's like, dude, I can hardly see straight. I can hardly tell where your voice is coming from in this room, and it feels like I'm drowning. Simply put, the concussion's bad. You do not get to have a nut tonight. Not like he deserved one. And it fucks me up because if he really loved me, then in his shoes, he should have been like, oh yeah, I have Tamia on Etsy. And like, he has my Etsy. Funny enough, a big portion of our lore is that even when I blocked him on social media or anywhere, he would harass me endlessly on Etsy, and I would get spammed via email with texts from his Etsy. So it's like he could have went, ooh, I'm gonna just save like $140 and hide it. And any other money I can do on whatever dumb shit I like as long as I have this money for Tamia's birthday dinner. She's sewing herself a handmade dress just to look good for me. Just so that she can look like Grace fucking Kelly on her birthday. She's not asking for anything else. Just for that. No gifts, no nothing. But you know what? I love her so much that let me look on her Etsy. What's something I could get her? Oh, this item. I could get her this set of earrings or this like, really, really. I don't like men who aren't romantic. They can burn in hell. And then on top of that, funny enough, Christmas came around. Morgan was still around, sadly. But this was around the time where, like, I forget. I think this was before he attempted sexual assault on me. Either way, let's just say Christmas came and went, and all the niggas who claimed they were in love with me and obsessed with me all year, lo and behold, they didn't get me shit. Liam didn't get me shit. Fucking Morgan didn't get me shit. And it's like, okay, so both of you were told what I wanted. Both of you knew it was inexpensive and would not cost a lot of money. It's like I just wanted, like, some succulents. Or, like, some lab-grown gemstones, which would have cost, like, at most, even they could have gotten me a shit ton of those, and it would have cost them like $20 for hella gemstones, and that would have made my entire year. You mean to tell me you had the chance to get the girl you love rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and you did not take that chance? What the fuck is wrong with you? And it's like it all would have cost you less than like $10-20. Wow. I remember I even told Morgan, I was like, hey, I just want, even something like a blanket, like a really soft blanket would be nice. Or you know what? Like, I saw these massage oil candles and I really wanted one. And Morgan's the type of asshole where, like, it's like, the candle would have cost him like $10, $15, but instead he was like, you know what? I'm gonna look up some botched recipe that my ex emailed me years ago, and I'm just gonna melt a bunch of shea butter and unsafe skin oils in a pot and pour them into a fucking pasta jar, and I can give this to Mia because this is the same thing. Someone can say, "Oh, but isn't it thoughtful that he's putting in so much effort and like to make it a thoughtful romantic gesture?" No. In my book, not really, because it's like, oh, you could have just gotten me a version that actually would have been safe for my body, 100% tested to work, would not scald my skin or put me at any risk, and would have been like nice. It would have been a nice, easy, small luxury item with a spillable spout and just like really, it was a cute. It came in a teacup. It would have been a 3-in-1 gift: a candle, a massage oil, fucking thing, and a teacup in one gift. And instead, he was like, "I'm sure Tamir will love this pasta jar with the wick in it, filled with fucking shea butter and lavender oil that is not skin safe. This will totally be the exact same thing." In my book, it's just like that's too many hoops and not exactly being thoughtful. I remember this girl on the internet talked about how for her birthday she asked for a specific set of diamond earrings she wanted. And she even sent like this guy who she was dating the exact link, and it would have cost like $600 or something, or roughly the same amount for the earrings that she wanted. But instead, this guy went out of her way to get her like these really, really extremely, extremely tiny diamond earrings for the exact same cost as what getting her the gift she actually wanted would have been. And then she texted him, "What the fuck are these? You just messed me up and I'm giving these to my little cousin." And the nigga was mad at her. He was like, "Fuck you, you're so ungrateful." But then she clarified. She was like, "No, you knew exactly what I wanted. You had the link for it. You knew I wanted these nice big diamond studs and they would have only cost you 600, but instead you went for an item that cost the exact same amount and was ridiculously smaller, and you told me to be grateful for an item that I didn't want just because you wasted money and time on it when you didn't need to do that." And people were shitting on her, but it's like she had a good point. She said he was training me to expect less, to never expect to get what I fully want and that I'm undeserving of it and that I'm not worth the effort. And that's something that Morgan did several times as we dated. And it was very annoying because he was the type of guy where if I didn't want a gift, suddenly he would go all out and about. If I just said, I don't want to see you ever again, give me the luxury of not knowing you, suddenly he's able to conjure up fancy dates to Italian dinners and roses with baby's breath, handmade custom bouquets. Ooh, like, pay for this, do that. But then when I actually wanted a gift, like requested it, and even if it was a small one, he couldn't even do fucking that. And I was like, okay, my roster is pathetic. Because how do I have a roster of these men who claim that they really, really like me, but when they actually had the time to show out for Christmas and show that they actually really, really were devoted to me, they couldn't. So it's like, okay, I had to spend Christmas with a caved in fucking stomach and like cold as fuck, miserable as fuck, stressed out as fuck. No gifts. Yeah, fuck that shit. I don't like that. I don't like that. I love romantic men. I love thoughtful men. My most recent ex, Jared, he was a thoughtful man in the beginning. That's how they all are before they start getting comfortable and bare minimum, and I hate that. But he used to be the type of guy where it's like, oh, hey, you know what? I'm stopping by Target. Do you want anything? And then he'd get me like candy or like a specific razor with water beads that he knew I wanted or some ashwagandha vitamins. Liam can be thoughtful at times. He'll be like, hey, baby, I know you said that you've been struggling with your period. You want me to pick up that tea, that Dong Quai tea that could be really good, or some saffron? Oh, I know you said you wanted to drink more tea. I got you this matcha. Even recently, Morgan pissed me off, but he's not going to be a part of my life journey anymore. But you know what he did? Like, I just straight up was like, listen, I know you're into this new girl you're seeing more. We don't have to be in contact. And then he went out of his way to go to this succulent expo and buy me a $35 succulent. It doesn't mean shit since he didn't give it to me. Fucking asshole. But, you know, I'm not gonna say the thought that counts because I don't fucking have it. But it would have been nice had he followed through on that. I don't know. I just hate men who don't have the ability or chutzpah to plan. It's why I also get mad at dudes on dating sites because they'll complain about a male loneliness epidemic and that no women want to date them and that women are just too picky. But whole time they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm on dating profiles. I'm on dating apps. I don't read any profiles. All my pictures are blurry and shitty. Any girl that does match with me, I ignore her opening move and just say, hey." And then if she asks me to plan a date, I just refuse off the bat. And then even if she suggests ways for me to plan a date, I'm still going to refuse. She has to put in all the effort to see me as a viable prospect herself. And if she dares to want a man who actually cares about her interests and plans thoughtful dates and makes thoughtful gestures and actually looks good and smells good and is nice to her, then she's just a picky bitch who deserves to die alone with cats. But really, it's just the men die alone with their Xbox controller in one hand and their dick in another. As the girls go on to, if they do live with cats, they're usually extremely happy at well paying jobs, wearing nice fancy dresses, and if they do go on dates, it's usually with men who actually reach the standards that they want. That's something I'm at least doing now. I'm cutting off the right people and just, like, I've been on dating apps more and meeting nice dudes. If anything, don't feel too bad about me after you just listened to the last 13 minutes of depressing stuff, because now I'm doing a lot better. If anything, the reason I don't talk too much about certain exes I had is because once you get to the point where you're having dates take you to high-end luxury spas for a third date, and buying luxury packages for $500, you're not going to be tripping over little Patrick number one who wanted to have you split bills for every fucking date. Like, nah, you're not going to be thinking about that nigga because it's like, okay, I have a man out here that's taken me out to the highest, fanciest restaurants in SF and getting me anything I want and more and sending me home with leftovers and getting me dessert. So, yeah, you don't need to be tripping over it. So that's why I appreciate men who actually do step up and that they are thoughtful, romantic, sweet men. Because then it's like, okay, you know what? You're great. You're putting in the effort. Like, you're showing up to my door with roses and chocolate. You're opening doors for me. You're pulling out my seat. You're being charming. And that's what I like in a man. And that's what more men need to be like. More people in general. I think that dating should be reciprocal. And also, like I said, I'm a lover at heart. Like, you don't even know. It's actually kind of scary how much I am. And sometimes I think it's a curse. But I will say this. I absolutely I adored the worst of people, and that's why I have some new stories about it. I'm working on becoming the person I used to be in some ways and other ways. Is my skin unevenly tanned right here? Well, that's unrelated, but fuck. Anyway, so I'm working on like holding myself accountable and exiting out people and not collecting red flags, you know? But basically, I get heartbroken whenever I hear men talk about like, ooh, no one cares about my birthday. No one cares about Valentine's Day for men. It's usually just a holiday where you give stuff to the women. And I was like, for the Valentine's Day I had with my recent ex, Jared, I remember I went all out on him. I was like, you know what? Let me get him these succulents because I know he loves them. Let me get him this coconut and vanilla incense since I'm sure he's going to love it. And I know he wants his apartment to smell better. And he lives in a not so great area. I was like, let me get him some crystal geodes and let me write him poetry and let me get him this like infused like whiskey bourbon that I made myself with his favorite fruit, like strawberries and oranges. And I went all fucking out because I wanted to make sure it's like, no, you need to know that you are very much cared about and loved. Did he show me that he was worth that effort? Fucking no. Like in some ways, yes, because like he did fuck up on Valentine's Day, but he did take me out to a nice dinner. He was chivalrous, romantic. He played Frank Sinatra and sang to me as we drove to the fancy restaurant. I was all dolled up, sniffing the roses and holding the teddy bear he got me. And then we had sex at that shitty motel. And then even when things did hit the fan for a while, he surprised me a few days later. He's like, "Here's a sapphire ring. I know you like this is what I mean by I love thoughtful romantic men." He was like, "Here's this sapphire ring that I know you talked about all winter how you were so sad because none of your men in the past like during Christmas got you this one thing you said you wanted all winter and it wasn't very expensive, so I got it for you. And also here's another one too just to show you mean the world to me." And that was so sweet. I actually wanted to cry. It was so beautiful, and we went on this like nice little day trip to another city too. It was romantic. It was great. Yeah. Sadly, it's a shame our relationship had to end the way it did. Like he still kind of wants to get back with me, but for a lot of reasons, no. He's just bastardized himself in a way that made him not the man I wanted. It's kind of sad when I meet a man and he's so romantic at the beginning, but then they start dwindling later on. Because then it'll be like, oh, how did the guy who went from like taking me out to that Giants game and getting me the burgers and the sundaes and getting dolled up to the tins with me and like kissing me on kiss cam, like that romantic memory, how did he become the same asshole who was not trying to video call me on Thursdays because he was too busy fucking other women? Or hey, I never expected Morgan, the guy who was talking like Lily, maybe just a little bit ago, a few, like sometime last week. Morgan was talking all this and that about like what he wanted to do with his future wife and trying to start up conversations about having a kid with me again or some sort of future, blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't matter because he knew I was going through hard times recently. Unbelievably hard. Let's just say I would have been off this planet from how hard they were. And he didn't want to meet up with me. Why? Because he found some shiny new object, aka a beautiful new girl, to trip over instead. So now he's going to be a romantic for her. That hurts. I don't like it when men bastardize themselves. Makes it harder to, and also I feel like it's a pedestal for women and like AFAB people, where like you're supposed to always treat a man well, even if he doesn't treat you well. And I'm not for that. I'm in the place where just no. If anything, I'm depressed just telling you that. It's okay. The same, like, that's a lesson I'm learning. The same men who will say that they want a future with you and do all these sweet romantic things, the wrong ones will only do that at the very beginning and then give up once they get you and then get comfortable, lazy, assholish. And the next thing you know, the same guy who was like, I adore you, you're amazing, and I'm never going to leave you, and I want to do all these fancy things for you and treat you to a nice life. And even if they do some of them, there's nothing stopping them from one day or one incident or one moment of being held accountable later from them not caring if you were to slit your wrists and die, or if you were in danger, or if your stomach was touching your fucking spine. Yeah. So let's just say I'm someone who is a hopeless romantic and loves romance. But a lot of these men don't. And if they think they do, they really don't. They like the idea of it, but it's not sustainable on their ends. And it makes me feel bad because it's like here I was caring for this guy and getting him these gifts or thinking about this and that with them, and now they're nothing to me. Yeah. Well, so I don't end this video crying. I'll put it like this. I know that my future husband or wife or partner of any race, gender, all that, they're going to love me so much and never stop trying for me. Just like how I would never stop trying for them. They would never give up on me. They would always want to see me thrive and prosper. They'd never dream of hurting me in the way these men do. Some of the men I've dated, they, instead of going, Tamia's, I learned of Tamia's past. I should treat this as like a guidebook on what not to do to Tamia. They treat it as a handbook on how to treat me and then get shocked that the results in the same way, with me hating them and them being blocked. But I know that my future lover, they're never going to put me in that position. They would never dream to have me cry. And a lot of these men have given me Oscar worthy performances that to this day make me sick to my stomach because they were so believable. But one day I will be able to discern who is really for me. And I won't need some man in my ear being like, hey, you should trust me. Like, don't ignore what your gut says, ignore what your mind says. You should just trust me because look, I'm buying you gifts. Aren't I? I'm saying you're beautiful. I'm saying that I like you and see a future with you, so you should take me at face value. And you should fully adore me. And there's absolutely nothing to be worried about. But then they start sprinkling in little breadcrumbs that lead up to the big fucking mess that is them and who they are at their core. That scares me a lot. So yeah, on the bright side, I'm just gonna get to the point where it's like I'm so focused on my amazing life that I won't have anyone in it who doesn't add to it, and I'm doing good at that. That's why this recent guy I've been going on dates with, I haven't hidden the fact that he hasn't been impressing me and that we're not that close, but I have made an effort to still get to know them and like focus and then just be me. And we don't get along perfectly well. I don't. We are not going to be soulmates. I can already tell. But I will say I appreciate that I'm at the beginning stages with him, and so far he is still thoughtful. He's like, oh, you want all these succulents but forgot your card at home? Here you go, because I want to see you happy and thriving, and I know you love succulents so much. Oh, you want to go for French food? Hey, there's a French place. Like, let's walk there and hold hands and have a great time. Oh, you say you want that espresso martini with rum? Get it. Here, get dessert. Get two desserts. Fuck it. Like, have a blast. Get as many things as you want off the menu because I like you a lot. He was like, you want to go to a museum? I said, no, I want to go to a spa. And we went to a spa and I had the most amazing time ever. And he looked so pleased just being there relaxed with me. And so I cherish that. And I cherish moments like this. And even with men who aren't around, I still do. I appreciate that they gave me sensations to show that they still kind of know my worth to an extent and that they still adored me and appreciated my company regardless. I will say this though. I will have a happy, lovely life by myself, and then I will happily await when I can meet the person who will be like this all the time for me as I will for them. And it won't be forced or something manipulative, it'll be natural. I'll give gifts and thoughtful gestures to them just because I love them, and it'll be returned, and we can function perfectly. And that's what I want. So deep down, I love a romantic. I love it even better when it's permanent. Thank you. Bye.